Welcome to the Audacity, the podcast by women for women. We welcome all who listen to the podcast, all who are in favor of the cause of equality. We love y'all. We especially want to give a shout out to our VIP subscribers on Patreon. Thank you to Pamela and Rashmi.
Woo! Thank you.
Thanks so much, y'all. We really appreciate your support. We appreciate anyone that is signed up on the Patreon at all. We love the community that we've been able to build over there. We have some poll results to discuss in our mailbag segment, so make sure you stick around for those. We are going to make the poll results a part of our show every time now, so thanks to all of those who have been participating and answering those. Today, we have a very special guest, our favorite YouTube creator, BurbNBougie, and we're very excited to have her in the studio. So that will be our main segment. We'll be talking about internalized misogyny this week. So we're very excited to weigh in. We have Burb to weigh in on that with us, and we have Sovereign Woman in the studio.
Yes.
And Gwen.
Howdy, y'all.
So let's get into our tea, ladies. What has been on your mind this week?
So we don't know how true this is, but what we heard, what we had heard was
through the grapevine, that President Musk, I like calling him that, got evicted from the White House. Into a warehouse. Yeah.
So they were saying that he didn't get an office or something. Like they didn't give him an office.
Gotta walk across the street.
He's in the Eisenhower building now. He's not going to be in the West Wing. He's going to be in the building that's around the corner from the White House because they can't trust his goofy ass not to make those quote unquote awkward gestures anymore.
Right.
Because imagine doing that at a press conference in the White House. They won't be able to save you from yourself at that point. That is.
Imagine not only doing that, but doubling down on it later.
Oh, he definitely doubled down on it. Oh, my God.
Come on. And he
gaslighting
didn't think
to the highest order.
Yeah.
Now,
I didn't think that was going to have any negative consequences for him, to be honest.
I didn't either. Here's the thing. I watched another video, and I don't know how credible this guy is, but it got me to thinking, because I'm like, this could be true as well.
Mm-hmm. Let's speculate.
He believes that this is just for show to make people think that there was some kind of a consequence, but they're not really going to get rid of him or anything like that. He's still going to be on the sidelines. And he was basically, and I read in the comments sections too, they were like, he's still a billionaire. And so our country is an oligarchy, and they're still going to be conversing with each other about whatever plans they have. So he basically his theory is that it's just for show.
But J.D. Vance did come out today, and he said that the IT overlords are like a threat to our something. Oh, God, I don't remember what he said. But he said the
national security?
The tech bros are like a threat or something. He came out against tech bros. So I wonder if they're
domestic terrorists.
If they're kind of trying to, I don't know. I think Trump... I think Trump is annoyed with him. I think it is a mean girl thing that he did. He's like, no, you can't. You have to sit in the other room while we talk in here. You know what I mean? Can you believe how bad? Yes. Do you know how bad he's itching right now? Oh, I can just picture him. He's so mad he doesn't know what's going on at the sleepover. They're all in the West Wing having a sleepover, and he's across the street. I love it.
I screenshot 3 comments that I thought were perfect to describe this situation. The first one says, Donald Trump said Elon was clingy, and that kills me. The next person said, I think Trump just wanted a casual fling, and Musk is searching for something deeper.
Oh my God.
On the next episode of Love Island on Fire. And then the last guy said, or woman said, Elon is the type that seems to hold grudges. He will do something to retaliate.
Yep.
Assuming that it's true that he's been excommunicated, allegedly, I agree. I think he will too. But we'll just have to sit back and... Oh, yeah. Elon Musk definitely seems like the type to create a burn book. So there's that. I'm just going to sit back and drink coffee or tea and eat some popcorn. coffee or tea.
I think his karma's already coming for him, though, because if this is just like a proverbial slap on the wrist for him, and I think it is, because like this is definitely not consequence enough to be, making a fool out of ourselves on national TV.
I know.
And even Germany is raising the alarm bells for us. That is so embarrassing how even Germany is standing up and being like, America, where are you? Like, are you awake? Are you okay? They are asking us if we are okay.
But are
that
we
is
really
scary.
okay, though? Because
we are not.
We're clearly not.
I just feel like half of us didn't want this, and then the other half did. Because this is what they voted for. So it's like,
they didn't
are
want
we
it
okay?
either. They just wanted to own the libs.
No, I think they did.
I hope they did, because they're about to get it.
The other day, DeepSeek just released, and that's a Chinese AI that's very similar to ChatGPT, but it was accomplished using like a percentage of the resources that we use. Because like for ChatGPT, it costs like what, 500 billion to get that put into motion. China accomplished that with I think just maybe 1 billion. I don't even think they used 500. And then they were also able to use it at like a much more greener or like cost efficient way. And so when that got released, they made it open source. And open source just means like anybody can use it. What? And so it's going to put ChatGPT out of business.
Oh, hell yeah. I love to see this.
And it's better than ChatGPT. I haven't signed up for it yet, but I've seen some videos on it because it's the AI is just really interesting to me. And how rapidly we are progressing from the original ChatGPT to the 4.0. And now we have DeepSeek. And DeepSeek, the difference between DeepSeek and ChatGPT is that you can see its quote unquote thought process behind its answers. So you can see it analyzed in real time. And it's really rapid, so fast. And yeah, and you can also get it to program video games for you. So you can play like Snake or like Tetris. So you just like type it in and it'll just like, boom, create a game for you. Yeah, it's insane. It's going to change the game as we know it.
Well, thank goodness, because the resources is the part that we should have all been the most worried about. The fact that like every time you use AI, you're like burning through gallons of water. That's insane. That's why I prefer not to use it. Like, and they're like forcing it on us in every app. Every app now has AI.
That's like, we don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember voting on this, and now it's like Google. I can't just search up something on Google and get websites anymore. It's going to answer using the AI thing.
I hate it. I'm like, this is definitely late stage capitalism because you don't actually have a choice. Capitalism is supposed to be all about a choice, having a choice of what you do and participate in. And we don't have that. So we just so y'all know, we crossed the line of living in a capitalism. I don't know what techno-feudalism, I suppose, is the proper term, but
pretty much
we've been,
We're like in stage hyper consumption era because things are being made to just be consumed as quickly as possible and to just throw it away and buy the next thing, just on a rapid scale. Yeah,
they're putting like AI bots on every platform. You know, like Zuck is like, oh yeah, a bunch of people deleted Instagram, but don't worry, our user numbers have rebounded. And it's like, you made a bunch of AI bots.
Literally. He told on himself by saying that.
Yeah. And like Snapchat has AI too. And I didn't know about this until I have a lot of my memories still on there from whenever I first installed it. So I have puppy pictures of my first pug that I ever had who is now no longer with us. And I was trying to get those pictures. And I found out the not ChatGPT, but like there's an AI thing on Snapchat. And it blew my mind a little bit because like, why is the Sneaky Link app got AI now too? Like that just seems a little totalitarian, but what do I know?
And we all signed off on our data being used by these apps however they want. So that's why they're using AIs, because they want to mine your data even better.
Whenever y'all get a chance in your own time, you should look up what's called the dead internet theory.
Yep.
In which case it talks about how like before like the mainstreamification of AI, we had bots that were just creating content for us and posing as real people. And it's just taken up so many platforms and so many of our like algorithms, like, and even like the way algorithms used to work is like if you subscribed to someone, you'd be able to see them on your For You page or like on your feed somehow. You don't see them anymore. It just creates like a user base. And it's like, okay, so this person that you subscribe to, let's say they do nail stuff, like they do nail art. So now you'll get more nail art on your feed, but it won't necessarily be by the person you subscribe to.
They're kind of forcing it on you, which doesn't align with I'm supposed to have a choice under capitalism. I'm supposed to have freedom in America. None of this feels like freedom.
It's not, because it's kind of a monopoly. And I'm not technically sure why the FTC hasn't been sicked on them, but usually like that
It's
would be
because
their
they work
department.
for them.
Yeah, I'm fully convinced that like all these institutions that were in place to protect competition, it's no longer a thing anymore. And I don't think even the Constitution could have predicted our own stupidity, putting a felon in the White House, or also...
Or the Citizens United Act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering what the Constitution is going to say now when they put it back, if they haven't put it back up. Because the only reason to take it down is to amend it or change it or whatever. So I'm just wondering, like, what's going to be different.
Oh, and they have you guys heard they've already asked for a third term, the Republican senators?
Yes, I was just going to say that. I saw that too.
So just for everyone that's like, they can't do that. Okay. They're starting real early. You know why? So that it can go through and get rejected. They can push it through again. And then they can meet, these requirements. And then they're going to tell them, oh, you can't do it because of this. So they're going to loosen that. That's how it's going to go. That's why they're starting now.
Or they're going to hold things hostage.
Yeah.
They're going to say like, oh, we're going to withhold federal aid to your state unless you vote on this bill.
Oh, better yet, they're going to be like, we're going to withhold the Pentagon budget. Everyone's going to vote on that shit real quick. Yeah. They'll just sneak it through as part of the Pentagon budget somehow. That's what they do. And they've normalized and desensitized us to this. So everyone that's like, they can't do that, they can and they will. They can and they will. And they figured out exactly how. Yeah, they figured out just faster ways to do it. So
and the whole they can't do that mindset that a lot of people have, a lot of that has to do with the Constitution and Congress passing this and what, and the House
checks and
passing
balances.
that.
Yeah.
And what y'all don't realize is they're changing
all of that.
Like if it were up to them, they would probably throw out the entire Constitution and write it all over. So you're basing it off of the Constitution or whatever. And once they change it, then you do know that they can do that. They can and they will, like she said. So this whole, it's going to be over in 4 years. Y'all are delusional if you think this is going to be over in 4 years. Even if something were to happen to T, whether he doesn't get voted in again, if we're even allowed to vote, because that's up in question too now. Or if he, drops of a heart attack or something. Something can happen. It's just going to be an exchange of power. That's it. They have the majority house. So it's really just going to be a change of power. Like, we're still going to be in the same boat, just different people.
I don't think we'll ever have another blue president.
I don't think so either. It's going to be a long time. Yeah, this is what y'all voted for.
This is what the Germans are warning us about, where it's like, even if it's not the team man, it'll be somebody else on that team, and we're just going to be stuck with that for God knows how long. Yeah. And also the Republicans, when they were writing that bill to try to get a third term, they worded it in such a way to where Obama can't run again. Because they're saying like, okay, well, if you already served 2 consecutive terms back to back, then you can't run again for a third term, which is ridiculous.
This is so scary, y'all. Like, I actually cannot process the fact that it's happening.
It's very scary. Like, alarm bells should be popping off right now. And I don't know how we're all just like sitting here going to our jobs and trying to act like everything's normal when it feels so dystopic. I now fully understand how 1930, 1940 Germany was able to happen.
Yeah, because people still had to go to work. People's payments didn't stop just because somebody was changing the Constitution and doing diabolical things. Right. Groceries didn't stop costing money. You have to survive. They put you in survival mode and then they just do whatever they want.
Yep.
Well, on that note, ladies, should we talk to Burb?
Yeah, let's bring Burb in.
All
right. We'll be back right after this break. Thanks, y'all. Welcome back, and let's give a really warm studio welcome to our special guest, BurbNBougie.
Yay! Finally!
We are so excited to have Burb on. I know y'all know we've talked about her in every episode so far, and here she is, almost in the flesh. Burb, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and just whatever you want to share with our listeners? They know we love you, but give them more to love.
So I am a content creator. I've been doing this for a little while, but I ended up on YouTube because of Mark Zuckerberg. And I do need to give a shout out to Mark Zuckerberg because of the community violations and continuously getting sent to Facebook jail. I ended up on TikTok. I was like, okay, they're going to keep kicking me off of Facebook because of my my stuff going viral, I'll just go over to TikTok. Well, then I started getting kicked off of TikTok because supposedly I was a bully to men. So I was like, okay, I can already see that. I can already see that I'm about to get kicked off of TikTok as well. So I started saving all of my stuff over on YouTube. And then there, I am not getting censored as much. But basically, the thing is, misogyny is all over the place. I'm a feminist. Misogyny is everywhere. But as soon as someone claps back at these people, women get censored and kicked off of platforms and silenced. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just go to a different platform. So I do have to give a shout out to Mark Zuckerberg for continually putting me in Facebook jail just because I clap back at people. I don't just come at people just being mean. And
Right.
I mean, I just happen to be more creative with my words. So that's a little bit about me. I'm a feminist. I am a mom. I'm a wife. I don't know what else. I'm creative with my words. I have a book. Yeah, that's about it.
I was going to say, no, tell them more about the book. I love that book and I love the journal that it comes with. And you have a whole shop. Like,
So I have a book. It's called Ashy Men Will Make You Fat. And it's not really about the size and weight of a woman. It's about, health and wellness it's physical health, mental health, emotional health, financial health is everything that goes into it. And when you have somebody's ashy son in your home, that could stress you out. That could jack up your finances. Family planning is financial planning. All of this stuff goes together.
Mhm.
And I just want women to think about the behaviors and the decisions that we make on a day-to-day basis because, everything that we do can impact another part of your health and wellness. So that is a little bit about what I talk about and the precise voice that I use for my videos. Because a lot of times what I'm doing with my videos is taking things that's like news or taking things like data and attempting to filter it and make it for everyday people to hear these things and learn. And I use pettiness. What I say on my bio on YouTube is petty with a purpose.
Mhm.
Oh, we love that. Yeah, and I absolutely agree that your videos are not only extremely accessible, but they just also make getting that information intake, like the fact that you go out there and you curate the information, the articles, like all of that is so important because some people don't have enough time in a day to do all of that, but they do have the time in the day, like my husband. That's why you're his number one watch right now, apparently. Because he's like, because I can click on a video and I can get all the information, and he's like, she's so funny and just so, clever with it. It just makes it all easy to listen to. So I think that you're definitely accomplishing everything you've set out to do. And we're so excited to have you here to talk about internalized misogyny.
Yes.
This is an interesting subject because a lot of us spend most of our time talking about men to women. And I feel like this is one of the subjects. It's a little bit of a sore subject, in feminism. It's a little bit of a sore subject for all of us, I'm sure. But it is important to talk about because this is some of the biggest, in my opinion, one of the biggest roadblocks that holds us back.
So I just got a few notes. The goal of this topic is to get more women to understand what internalized misogyny is and how most, if not all, women have some form of it, and to explore ways in which we can deprogram from it. So internalized misogyny is a type of sexist attitude that women have about themselves and other women, and this literally stems from misogyny.
Yep.
The ideas and thoughts that we have about each other, how we're supposed to act, how we're supposed to dress, what men are looking for and how we need to cater our lives to what men want, and all this is all stemming from men's idea of what women are supposed to be. And it's internalized misogyny because misogyny comes from men or from the patriarchy, but women carry a lot of that. And women don't even know it. A lot of women don't even realize that we carry that. And it's more disheartening hearing this stuff come from women. We expect it from men, right?
Yep.
And so this can take so many forms. So the dislike of other women, Because if you think about it, there's no other reason to like not like other women. If you break down women arguing or getting into it about something, usually it has a man to do. Like a man is somewhere in the fold.
If you go far enough upstream,
if you go
will
far enough
absolutely
back,
find a man. Yep.
absolutely.
At the root cause of the conflict. Yep.
And then seeing other women as competition, that's
Mhm.
another one. We're not supposed, like in my mind, women are supposed to be like sisters and we're supposed to help each other. We support each other. We're supposed to uplift each other. We're not supposed to see each other as competition. I think the only reason why that has come to be is because back when patriarchy was invented, women needed men to survive. So women felt like they needed to fight each other for resources or for a husband.
It was really for resources, not over men.
Yeah. It really wasn't the men, but because they were the ones hoarding the resources, it's like now I have to compete with these women to become a kept woman, if you will, right? I got to dress a certain way. I got to carry myself a certain way because I have to beat out this competition because I'm trying to be picked. I'm trying to be kept. Another one is choosing men over women. So a lot of times this can take many forms as well. So a woman can come out and say she was abused or something happened, SA'd or whatever. And a lot of women will automatically take the side of the man without knowing any facts, without seeing anything. Just, oh, she's lying. I'm a woman. I know how women are. She's probably lying. Like, and I like using her as an example, what people did to Megan Thee Stallion. I'm just using her as an example. Yeah. Perfect example. Women took Tory Lane's side. I mean, I was seeing more women saying free Tory Lanez in any comment section that you could find on social media. And then when the truth came out, it was like, no, but she still lied. She still lied about it. It's just like, really? So that is internalized misogyny. For whatever reason, these women do this because they don't like other women. They see other women as competition. And they also want to be favored by other men. So it's like if I take on the persona of how men think, men are going to think I'm the cool chick, right? Which the whole cool chick, that's a whole nother topic.
Even during the Giselle Pelicott case, there were all those wives to those husbands that showed up for all those men that had sexually assaulted her. And it was on camera.
Yes.
It was literally on camera. And there's video proof of them assaulting this poor woman. And they're still like defending their husbands in court. And I just thought that was so
that is the crazy,
demonically despicable.
Sickening.
That whole case, every time I hear that case, I just get it.
Oh, I know my stomach does a flip. Yeah.
But that is perfect, Gwen. That's a perfect example.
Have y'all read the feminist author Phyllis Chesler and her book, Woman's Inhumanity to Woman?
I've heard of that, but I've never read it.
I have not.
So Phyllis Chesler is an author, a feminist author. And she has a couple of books that I read over, not this past year. Before I started popping on YouTube and TikTok really big, I was reading feminist authors, and she was one of them. She has two books that I read. One is called Women in Madness, and one is called Woman's Inhumanity to Woman. And a lot of the things that we end up doing, a lot of it is survival. It is a scarcity mindset that, we have to have a man in order to survive. And then we've taken it so far to the point where, for the longest time, it was as long as he comes home to me, he might have been yours, but I got him all the time.
Oh, God.
You take Wednesday, Thursday, then just send him my way.
I got that song on my list.
I love SZA.
We got some pick-me anthems because in times past, we needed them to survive. And so even just having a piece of a man would be enough to put women at odds with other women.
Yep.
Mothers at odds with their daughters. Mothers kicking their daughters out because she said that the boyfriend or the husband did something. And so, I'm thankful that we're starting to see the shift. Like, we don't have to fight over them anymore. We see that they are resource drainers, but sometimes our biggest and our first bullies were our mothers. And so we learned how to be an evil B word from our mothers.
That's so true.
I wonder if that's why women say that boys are quote unquote easier to raise, is because you never have to break their spirit like you do your daughters.
Yep.
Woo.
That's
Bars.
a whole sermon. That goes perfectly into the other one. I have two more. Trying to other yourself from other women. So meaning
I'm not like other girls.
Yeah.
The
Or
cool
this
girl.
is why I don't have girlfriends. I prefer guy friends. That is
Couldn't
like
be
the
me.
pick me anthem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't be
Yeah.
me.
Girls
And
are
so-
too much drama.
Yeah. And so if you do this, just understand that this is something that needs to be deprogrammed. Like, you're not necessarily a bad person because, like I said, pretty much all women have some form of internalized misogyny, some worse than others. So this is just to help you we're pointing out the ways in which it manifests, and this is how we can deprogram it. And the other one is shaming other women for the way that they dress, act, or carry themselves. They do this to try to gain favor and validation from men. So whenever I hear women say stuff like, y'all showing too much cleavage and y'all wonder why these men don't want no husband. No wife. They ain't trying to wife no woman that's showing cleavage or that's walking around with her ass out and whatever else. And it's like, why do you care about what this woman is doing? You know what I mean? You see her as competition. And so that's your way of trying to down her. And look, I tell women all the time, don't do that. Because the only thing you're going to do is make your man more curious about that woman. So if you think doing that is going to make a man be like, oh, she's a whore, I'm going to stay away from her. That's usually the opposite.
Yeah.
Just so
Giving them too
y'all
much
know.
credit.
So please stop doing that.
Yeah.
And I just got a few songs to throw to y'all to think about. Most of us have heard these songs already, but if you haven't, go look up the lyrics to these songs. The first thing that comes to mind is Destiny's Child used to have a song called Nasty Girl. And in that song, Beyonce is like literally, all of them are, but they're literally singing about a woman and how she's dressed and she's a freak and these men don't want no female that's been around the block and all this other stuff. And in the video, the girl was just, she had on some skimpy clothes and she's just walking around. And my thing is, why you all in her business? Why you care about what she doing? But that's just one example. And then Don't You by the Pussycat Dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Break Up With Your Girlfriend by Ariana Grande.
I like the music video.
And we like the songs, by the way. But these are just perfect examples of...
It was funny in the music video because the music video was about a girl in the end. There was like a little twist that she was saying that to another woman. But the song itself is very much a pick-me anthem.
Yeah.
Ew.
And then you got... I don't know if some of y'all may be too young to remember. Alanis Morissette, You Ought to Know. She was like, she said, I hate to bug you in the middle of dinner, but is she perverted like me? Would she go down on you in a theater? I mean, she goes in this song. I used to love that song, by the way. But anyways, then
it's always a banger.
It's always a banger. Mm-hmm. And then you got He's Mine, the song that Burb was just...
You may have had them yours, but I got them all the time.
Yeah.
That song is crazy. I remember when that song came out, I was a teenager, and I remember that song was a hit back in the day. But I understood sort of kind of like, I remember listening to the lyrics and I was like, is that a good thing? Like, okay, well, they singing about it, so I guess it's best to be the woman singing than to be the side chick who just got used and pumped and dumped. So I guess. But now as an adult, I'm like, that is the most pick-me ass shit. Because in the song, she was saying, he used you for a night. Now he's coming home, basically. Like, you thought he was yours? Oh, no, he only used you, girl. He coming home to me. That was pretty much the gist of the song. And it is so pathetic when you actually think about it. But that song was a hit back in the day. So I'm just pointing that out. Then a few more. You got The Boy Is Mine by Monica and Brandy. They were fighting over a dude, which is crazy, but that song was also a hit. Woman to Woman. Hey, hello, Barbara, this is Shirley. That might be a little bit too old school for some of y'all. Oh, see, yep. Oh, and No Pain, No Gain. I know you know what that is, Burb.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That song is basically, it kind of promotes struggle love. Like, you have to go through a bunch of BS from your man in order to get something. It's not really a pick-me song, but it kind of is. But, so those are just some examples of internalized misogyny and pick-me-ism, if you will. And women need to deconstruct from that.
Sovereign, that was a fantastic breakdown.
Oh, thank
that was
you.
amazing. That's like basically like the structure we need to talk about this because, you really nailed it. It's so much. And I wonder if women comply with it because it helps them. They feel like it helps them to navigate the patriarchy. But
Definitely.
I think the funny thing is it only works when you're young and pretty anyway, when men would like you anyway.
That's so true.
It's like you're wasting your best years being a pick-me when you could be using that time to swindle men out of money. Like, I don't understand. Like, you could be doing anything else. You could be, I don't know.
So, saying, you are so correct. That's one of the things you could be doing.
You're taking the wrong side every time. Every time. Take the side of yourself too. And just, I will beat this drum until the day I die. Just remember, men would never be a pick-me for you. And if one of them even tried, the rest of them would drown him out with a chorus of simp, pussy whipped, bitch, you know, and calling them things that they don't respect about us. Pussy, bitch. Just remember that. That's how men operate. The same people that would use your gender to put another man down will never respect you. They will never respect you. So why are you trying to side with them? It's absolutely ridiculous. I said this about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. I'm saying it right now about Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. Quit writing for men. They have done nothing to deserve that from you. And against other women, that's
diabolical.
Just wicked work. Exactly the word I was looking for.
In the words of Public.
Yeah.
Wicked work. Some pick-me quotes real quick. Just a couple. What you won't do, another woman will. That is the top pick-me quote. If you've ever said that, or if you ever heard women say that, please stop. Please stop. Because that doesn't mean anything, first of all. Stop being against each other. And secondly, let me not get into that. But just because you did it, it doesn't mean he's not going to find other women to do it. So please stop. But the biggest overall gist of that is that's just an idea, the type of quotes that women say. Another one is, these men want a lady in the streets but a freak in the sheets. Men say that all the time, and now women for years, decades probably, have been saying the same thing to other women. Like, well, you better do this for your man because what you won't do, another woman will. None of this is real either, by the way. None of this is true.
It's true. Yeah.
And the same way with the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. You better cook for your man. Yes. Yeah, it just made me think of cooking with Kaya. But I actually like cooking with Kaya. But that just made me think of that. But yeah, you know, it's okay to do those things for your man, but it's not okay when you're using it to shame other women into doing whatever you think a woman's role is. That's what makes it pick-me-ish, right? Or the internalized misogyny of it.
Yeah, we don't have a woman code, you know? Whenever allegations are brought up against men, every man you know is going to say one thing. He's innocent until proven guilty. We don't know for sure. Yep. Let's let all the facts come out. We don't know. These women could just be saying that because he's rich. That's what they say.
I wish we would take a page out of that type of solidarity that men have with each other and have that kind of solidarity for us. Like, even if it's like the most ridiculous thing, like she poisoned him.
I plan on it. Good.
And it's like, well, we don't know what he was doing. Like, was he beating her?
Yeah.
And like just automatically taking her side over his side because like, well, what if he deserved it? What if he deserved to have antifreeze in that coffee?
Why did he stay? If she was so evil and abusive, why did he stay? I'm going to start asking the same exact questions because trying to act in good faith has gotten us where, ladies?
Nowhere.
Period.
The bottom.
That's the reason why I'm a big proponent of matching energy. You've got to match energy because in no way will they learn lessons if we just continue to go along to get along. And part of our training, our domestication is keeping us demure, is keeping us agreeable. And that's one of the things that I don't like when women come into our comment section. Like, you know, why does she allow herself to be treated like that? Why doesn't she have the self-esteem or self-confidence? Why does she have no boundaries? It's because we have that beat out of us at an early age because you're supposed to be compliant. You're supposed to be malleable. You're supposed to be agreeable and submissive. And we're trained into those roles. We're trained into those adjectives. And, you know, the older women are the ones forcing compliance. A lot of the pick-me's are the ones that are the auntie age, the grandma age. I remember, I know we're going to, I mean, I can talk about hair, but black hair is a thing, you know, like that's a thing that we go through. And at one point in time, I had like a bob. I had a chin length bob, and I would always wear my hair like that. But then when I was away at college, I decided to go natural. This was more than 20 years ago. And I came back to my hometown with a really itty bitty short haircut, a short afro. And it was the older women that were looking at me, calling me a boy. Like, why'd you chop your hair off?
Wow.
You're looking like a little boy. No man is going to want you looking like that. It was the women who tried to force the compliance because no man is going to want you with your little bitty short haircut.
Burb, quick question. Did you have any trouble pulling men during that time?
No, because I'm a cute woman.
Okay. See?
I know, that's right.
I just had that quick question because this is what they try to fearmonger you with. Meanwhile, your DMs are full. Your phone is ringing off the hook.
No.
Well, who are you telling what to, you know?
Right. And that's the thing is like, you have to look a certain way. You're supposed to grow your hair out long because my hair was fairly long. I just kept cutting it. But you have to have your hair a certain way. You got to dress a certain way. You can't have tattoos. You can't wear red lipstick. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's in the white community, but you can't wear red lipstick.
Asian community too, yes.
Are you serious? I thought y'all were the only ones that was allowed to wear red lipstick.
It depends because, in Texas, like if you're in the Bible Belt, I guess it's a little different than if you were like in the northern states. But in the southern states,
color or something.
It's like a hussy color or whatever.
Especially if you're young, it's either like you can do it when you're very high class, but when you're anything lower than that, red lipstick is considered like a 304 thing.
Yeah, you're a harlot.
In just about every community. Yeah.
Okay. I was just checking, Jezebels out here wearing red lipstick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I look cute in a nice red. I don't care what nobody says.
I'm saying, I don't know. I feel like the Slavic women were kind of the only ones holding it down right now. That Russian red or whatever.
You know what? Tomorrow when we make videos, wear red lipstick.
Yeah. I know, right?
Will do.
Remember when Rihanna came out with that Ruby Woo? It was for Sephora. No, it wasn't Sephora. It was MAC. This was some years ago.
Yeah, it was MAC shade.
Yeah, it was MAC, and it was this shade of red, and it sold out in like 30 minutes everywhere. Like it sold out so fast, like at all the MAC stores or whatever. That red, every race, culture, and they mama and grandmama rushed out and got that shade. And that shade, I still actually have that. I literally still have a shade of that. And
wow.
I look cute in my little red lipstick. There was something about
that shade that it fit most
and
skin
it fit
tones.
everybody. Yeah, I swear. So yeah, ain't nobody finna tell me nothing with no red lipstick. That's truly a thing in the Black community. And I think for us, it might just be because our skin shade. I don't even know if it's considered. Is it considered whorish in the Black community, or is it just have to do with our skin tone?
I really do think that it's a signal that you are a lady of the night.
Okay.
So yeah, I do think that.
My mom used to say that too. Lady of the night. Sorry, it just brought back memories.
But yeah, the point is that it's mostly women spreading these kinds of like stereotypes, right? That if you do this or if you wear this, then the men are going to think like, why are you speaking on behalf of them, by the way? Because men don't really care. Men do not care. And we've said this before and we'll say it again. Men do not get hired very often at funeral homes. Funeral homes do not like to hire men.
And we know.
For the reasons that we think.
Yep.
For the exact reasons that you're thinking. So for women to carry water for those same exact men saying that men don't like this, men don't like that, men will literally put their peen into a hole in a wall.
Facts.
Not knowing what's on the other side.
Monitor lizards,
turkeys. Who
Butterball
cares?
Turkeys. Where's Ryan? Where Ryan at?
He's on the floor. Head in his hands right now.
Warm apple pie.
Those turkeys can be frozen,
warm apple
thawed
pie.
out. It doesn't even matter.
Alive, dead or alive. It does not matter.
A jar of peanut butter.
Stop. Oh my God.
So ladies, y'all know, like, and literally we've got to understand that we are the resource. And for the longest time, we have like been trying to perform to be picked. And that's, pick me, perform. I'm not like them. But we have always been the resource that is even keeping these people alive. If you look at it, if you look at what's going on right now, this proves that we're the resource that's keeping them alive, right? So I do all of these dating profiles. And back when I first started them, it was kind of a joke to look at these. They're terrible spellers or whatnot. But as time has gone by, you look at these people and they are not healthy. They are falling apart. Like they'll be in their 30s and 40s having like retirement age diseases because they haven't had a woman that's been there to keep them together. And like I said in one of my videos yesterday, I said they are keeping themselves together with thread, duct tape, and hope because they're not doing well without these home cooked meals, without us phoning in their doctor's appointments, reminding them to drink some water. So it's like we're the resources, but we've always been encouraging our girls to get picked. We've always been trying to get picked ourselves, but we're the ones that are keeping everything together. And they attach to us at a young age, suck our life force, and then look at us 15 years later and wonder how we let ourselves go. That's because you had something attached to you, sucking you dry.
The life out of you. Yeah. Literally. Remember when I always use the mummy reference from the movie? The movie The Mummy? How he siphoned everything out of those guys that it's a long story. But anyway, that's what I always think about.
I know what you're talking about. I just watched that movie. It's
Did
great.
you? Oh, yeah. God. I need to go watch that. You know, another thing, the internalized misogyny or pick-me girls say stuff when they're around. The key is that they do this around men, or they say it on social media where they know men can read it. They'll say stuff like, well, I don't need to wear makeup, or I'm low maintenance. That's another one. Because, and here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with you not wearing makeup, and there's nothing wrong with you being low maintenance. That is perfectly fine.
Absolutely.
It becomes a problem if you're saying it to try to other yourself from other women. That's the pick me shit that we be talking about. And I always counter comments like that and say, well, if and when your baby daddy or boyfriend cheats on you, it's probably going to be a woman with a face full of makeup.
Every single time.
It's not going to, like, whatever a lot of these men say they don't want, they will literally cheat on you with the exact opposite.
Exactly.
Whatever they say that they don't like, they do.
It feels like a projection because, like, who are you telling that to? When you tell your girlfriend or your wife, like, I don't like the girls with the bimbo looks and the filler in the lips and like the bleach blonde hair and the lipstick and whatnot, and like they'll try to just kind of other you, because like they'll put down other women in front of you to make you look better or feel better about yourself. But I feel like that's just them trying to assuage their own guilt about the fact that they absolutely would get with them if like they gave them half a chance or the time of day.
The only reason why I'm putting in there little nuances that these men are lying to you and all that is that they're trying to use that to triangulate women. And I want y'all to know that what they're saying to you is lies. So there's no reason for you to be against other women based on lies. It's stupid. Women have to build community with each other.
And you know how I know that's true? Is because these pick-me women never get what?
They never get picked.
Exactly. So these men are lying to you because even when you do everything that they say that they like, they still, guess what? They still don't want you. No. They still want the other women.
They would rather get passports and travel overseas to these other countries to find quote unquote traditional women instead of just going to church. The church right down the street where like they've raised on some of the same or similar values. Like I don't understand why if they want, traditional conservative women, why they don't just start at the source, like go to church.
Because they don't want that. And I always, I tell women, men like a challenge. And pick-me women are already mentally conquered. So a man will look at a pick-me and she's like, I'll submit to my man and I'll do this and I'll suck his dick from the back and I'll do a...
Stop.
No, I'm being serious. I'm telling you, I see this all the time. I hear it all the time, all my life. I'll do this, and I will swing from the chandelier, and I'll do it. And it's like the man already knows you're going to do it. So now
we are on the floor in the studio. Oh my God.
I'm so serious, y'all.
Oh my God.
These women will jump through hoops to do all of this, which, like I'm saying, if you're doing this for your husband or your man or whatever, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's the women who do this on public platforms or around men to try to get favor. That's the problem. We know why you're doing it. And they don't want you because they already know, I can get her to do anything. Now they're bored with you and they're just going to take off and go find, just like the conservative men. We were joking around the election time. Like the conservative men technically want the liberal women because they're always in our DMs. They're always in our comment sections trying to get us to submit and all this. When they got wives at home, you have a conservative wife at home. Why do you, JD Vance, why do you care about cat ladies and women being lonely? And you're married. You have a whole wife at home. But that's just proof that these men typically don't even want pick-me-ish women or these like conservative, like, and I'm not saying all conservative women are like bad or anything, but I'm just saying like they don't even want that because you're already mentally conquered. You're physically and mentally conquered to them. Men are always going to be on the chase looking for something else. It just is what it is. So don't let men and their bullshit draw you away from your actual true support system, which is other women.
Because that's who you're going to come running to when that man screws you over. Every single time. Like no matter how much you wring yourself out for a man, he's always going to want more. That's why you got to start out giving them nothing. That's why you got to start out taking from them. I'm so serious. Shira's right. Shira's right, ladies. Listen to her. It's going to open your eyes because men benefit so much from being with you, especially when you're not a pick-me. Because all that a pick-me's done is you've brought yourself down to their level.
Facts.
They don't want you. They don't want you.
Sprinkle.
Oh, you sounded just like her. Did she just sound just like her? She sounded just like her for a second. You know what I'm thinking about, Elisa, when you just said that? What am I thinking about? What am I laughing at?
Oh, do not use yourself as firewood. Absolutely. Do not become the firewood to stoke the flames of a man's success. That's what I'm saying. That's what you're doing as a pick-me. You're just willingly laying yourself down and you're saying, use me as a bridge to cross over. And men still don't even want you.
And so, and like, when you sent me when you sent me what we were going to talk about today, we're supposed to be talking about reformed pick-me's, right? Like, are we reformed?
Yes.
So were y'all pick-me's? I know that I am a reformed pick-me. She is really going at it.
Sometimes. And I can't help it. If she's laughing, I start laughing. I can't help it.
Oh my gosh. This the way she say stuff. She be so on point, and then the way she say it just be so funny. Use me as a bridge so you can walk over me. It's so classic. I love it.
But it's so true.
It is true. That's why it's so funny.
I think of women like Pearl all the time. Like that one angry, conservative, redheaded woman. She has like the long hair. Yeah. And she just goes on these like Republican platforms and just shits on women. And it's like, you're shitting on yourself too. And like, it's like, I don't understand how you can even, it's like a humiliation ritual.
And she's still not married. And none of the men have picked her.
Wait, who y'all talking about?
Pick me Pearl.
Oh, Pearl. Oh, God.
Pick me Pearl.
I haven't heard that one. I actually like it.
So,
Pick me Pearl. Oh,
so
God.
poignant. Thank you.
Well, okay, but I do want to come back to Burb's question because I think she asks a good question. Like, where are we reformed pick-me's? Like, let's tell our stories, ladies. And do you want to start us off, Burb?
I do need to start off because the kids do have mixed martial arts. So
yes.
I do the mom stuff, and I gotta go make my husband something to eat. I gotta make sure
you gotta get back in the kitchen.
Yeah,
right?
I gotta get back. But back in the day when I would really be going on Facebook, I remember that I was one of the people that said, yes, you serve your husband first. You serve your husband before your kids. Oh, my God, I said that.
Oh, no. I know.
But this was before I actually had kids. This was before I was actually married. So this was back in the day. Because
it's easy to say that stuff then.
Woo! Once you have kids, I would hope that you and your man would be on board with. You need to get them settled down first, because if they're not settled down, then nobody's gonna be settled down. So
Exactly.
like literally, once you become a mom, it's like, yeah. But I do believe though that some people would literally still take food out of their children's mouths to feed the husband of the family.
Absolutely.
But literally, and I think that I might have, you see, you take care of the man, you take care of your relationship before the babies. I think I would say that. And now looking back, like as an adult who's now like extra feminist, like super feminist, like I can't believe that I would say that. But I think that that's just part of the programming.
Yeah,
You dress conservatively, you act conservatively. Like literally, you go out there and you present yourself in a certain way. And I definitely did that. I was a low maintenance girl, but really I just didn't know how to do my own makeup. So that was that. But I do think that some people are like that because they don't know how to dress. And so you use the excuse, well, I'm pretty regardless. And I know, Sovereign, I know you might know how this goes. When I went natural, I was super natural. I was super pick-me-ish around that. It's like, well, if I can go natural and wear my hair natural, why, they're over there with their wigs. Oh, yeah. I would talk about wigs and weaves. They don't love themselves. Yeah. I would say that in the early stages of me having a natural, I was super. You know how people get when they go on a new diet or they start doing something, and then it's just like you become enlightened, and then all of those other people over there, like, oh my God, I cannot believe that they're still doing X, Y, and Z. So I'm all extra sanctimonious and stuff. But now I am reformed, and I try to hold space and hold space and have grace for the women that have not come out on the other side, as long as they're redeemable. Some people are never going to change.
I agree.
They're always going to be male identified. But some women, maybe you have to plant the seed, because I had to have the seed planted with me. One thing that got planted with me, because back in Obama's era, when there were a bunch of men and boys that were being taken down, I would be one of those people that's like, yeah, let's march, let's go. But then you sit up and look at it when a Black woman is taken down. And we weren't getting the same kind of response when it came to the women that needed to be marched for or needed justice. It would be like, well, what was she doing? What was she wearing? Did she have an attitude? Sandra Bland was a turning point for me. It was like, regardless of what she was doing, she didn't deserve to be taken to jail because she wouldn't put out her cigarette. And then that was the reason why a lot of Black men would start insulting women in our comment section. And so that was my turning point, that like there's no best way you can behave to get them to see us as human that deserve justice. So a lot of us need some seeds planted and need some grace to bring us to the other side, to be on accord with a woman, with women. True.
Absolutely. Beautifully said.
It was. That was really good. And to answer your question about the natural hair thing, that was me as well. However, it was only because people would have something negative to say about my hair. And I'm petty as fuck. Women would be like, oh, you going natural? Oh, so you going to be looking like Florida Evans. Or she got that slave hair. And when I would hear people say that, then I would clap back with the wigs. Because I used to wear the wigs. I was a wig fanatic, and the clip-ins and the glue-in hair, and all, I did it all when I was, especially in my late teens, early 20s, for sure. But when I went natural, and people would say stuff like that, like even how I got my hair today, people would say, oh, she got that slave hair or whatever. So then I would clap back and I would be like, well, I'm not gluing somebody else's hair to my forehead in order to feel beautiful. So I'm the shit because I'm wearing my natural hair. Then now I'm the bully. Now I am wig shaming and whatever else. And so I will find myself saying stuff to people in that way. Same thing with the pick-me stuff. I don't know. I don't really feel like I was ever a pick-me, but I did always say pick-me stuff, but it was because I was talking to somebody in particular because of what they were saying to me, if that makes sense. So like, even if I didn't believe what I was saying in its totality, I'm saying it because I know this, if I say this to you, I'm hitting below the belt. I'm like going for the jugular. So, because I'm petty like that. So if I'm thinking about like, was I ever like a full-fledged pick-me? I grew up with women and all I heard them say was the N-word ain't shit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that was baked into my mind. So in my mind, if men ain't shit, what's the point in taking them seriously? And if I don't take men seriously, I don't have a reason to fight with other women because I don't actually look at men as like anything in particular. If that does that make sense?
The problem is that other women don't see it that way. So then they come at you with a pick-me mentality and you... Yeah, I hear what you're saying because that's really what it is. It's still internalized misogyny.
It is.
And the only way to fight that, like, how do you fight that? You can't fight that by being like, well, I support you, queen. Like, I mean, come on, because then what are you supporting, right? So it's kind of like you got to plant the seeds though, for sure.
So I think with me, the deconstructing wasn't hard. If that makes sense. Like we all have it, but it's like it wasn't hard for me to deconstruct it at all.
Yeah. Slavic women are very much raised with you need men in the sense of like they're the ones preventing you from getting to the real resources. So like whatever you do want to like kowtow to men under, you're doing that because they're stupid. Like you're doing that as a favor to them so that you can extract from them what you need. That's what I was raised with. So it was kind of hard to be a pick-me. I will say like in the church, it gets difficult because a lot of what is given to you as an example is like, oh, a real man has to lead his household. And my husband never subscribed to that ideology. And I would say he's the one that pulled me out of that mindset because I would see him arguing this with everybody, no matter who they were. And at first I was like, so wait, does this make him a bad leader? That was my pick-me moment. I was like, wait, so is he like not a man of God? For standing up for me against misogynistic men.
That's so crazy.
Like legitimately, y'all. So I think when I hit my pick-me stage in the church and my husband was like, he was actually the one that
to help
was
you
less.
Get out of it.
Yeah.
So ladies, can you all let me do a little sign out or something?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Burb.
Yes,
we know
I'm so
you have
glad
to pop out, but we had so much fun and thank you for the energy you brought, for everything you said, like for contributing to the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll have to have you back on ASAP.
Yeah. You know how I am, and this is how I do with the lives. I have to jump in, hit it and quit it, like bam, bam, wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. We get in there. That's how I have to do with my videos because all of this is juggling life and stuff. So all of us are busy, but y'all know, mommyhood calls.
Make sure y'all follow BurbNBougie's channel. She's BurbNBougie everywhere. If you want to keep up with the current happenings anywhere in the world and the news and what's happening politically, she vets her resources. She's with the stats. Like if you want to be lazy and just get some news, she's the person to go to. And she's going to make you laugh while she's informing you of what's happening. She's definitely a girl's girl. She's always motivating all of us to post more and do better. She's always sharing resources with us. She's the reason why I found Lisa and Melanie Hamlet and Jules Lowell, and there's quite a few, and I can't think of everybody right now, but they're the ones that come to mind. She's a girl's girl. She loves supporting us. So make sure you follow her on TikTok, YouTube. She's on Blue Sky.
We'll have her link tree in the description. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like my pick-me phase was kind of like, I grew up very male-centered just because I was a daddy's girl. Like my mom, it's not that she wasn't in the picture, but she was a very busy woman. She was an engineer, and so she worked for like different chemical plants along our coastline. And so she would just be gone 3/4 of the time of my childhood that I can remember. So it was my dad that was always the one taking me everywhere to like field trips, doctor's offices, my appointments, and take me to school, daycare. And even he was the one who enrolled me in martial arts. Like my mom, I remember being a child, and my mom wanted me to join like more girly extracurriculars, like maybe like cheerleading or what was another one, like dance or volleyball. But my dad knew this question was going to come up where my mom was going to ask me, what I wanted to do for my, after school activity. He put on like a bunch of Jackie Chan movies and just kind of brainwashed me that way. He says,
my goodness,
if you want to learn how to do
funny.
that, you need to tell your mom you want to do Taekwondo. And so that's what I did. And so that has been my life ever since. And that's because of my dad. I love him so much for that. And I think in his mind, he was just, doing his best to give me the tools to go forth in life, knowing that like his daughter wasn't going to be a victim, per his own words. I hate to disappoint him sometimes, because I do feel like there were some situations. But anyways, so I grew up around mostly boys and like mostly men, because in Taekwondo dojongs in like the 90s and 2000s, like it was mostly boys in there. Like I would see maybe like one or two other girls, but it would just be extremely rare. And usually they just be like at competitions and part of other people's schools. But like I'd be like one of the only girl in some of these smaller schools that are like Asian owned. And so it was just more in that space for them to just put boys in. And so I got special treatment from them all the time. Like I was treated different because I was a girl, not in a bad way. Actually, it was a very, very good way. And I felt like I was everybody's little sister, and all the boys and the men were like my friends, and like they were my teachers and people that I could trust and that my family could trust. Because in the Asian community, martial arts, if you do all that stuff, it's a very tight-knit, close community. And so I think being in that community, it shielded me a lot from the things that other girls my age were saying about boys. Like, oh, boys are mean, or boys are this and that, and never trust a boy, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? And so because I was using, I would be like 12, 13, 14, just going off my own experiences. And I had only ever had, more positive experiences, because I had to be able to trust these boys as like my teammates if we were to do like sparring competitions and things like that. And we would travel all the time to go to these competitions throughout the state. And so I would just kind of look at them sideways, and not for any, particular reason. It was just, comparing my own experiences. And I didn't really get to experience the other side of that until I actually had stopped martial arts completely throughout like into my teen years and well into my 20s. Like I just took like a hiatus from all that. And that's when it all started to kind of like hit and like click for me. Like, oh, it's not that I thought they were talking out of their ass. I just like never really experienced that. And so, yeah, and all that was just really different for me. And also like forming female friendships was also something that was hard coming off the ground, because I had come from a place where all of my friends were boys. And that only kind of like reinforced the belief that, it was just easier getting along with boys. And that's because that's just all who I just grew up around. And all the girls would always kind of like look at me sideways because I had guys, like mostly guys as my friends, and rightfully so. Because I imagine like, they were onto that whole pick me shit before I had any conception of the word pick me. And so it was just like, it was more like a product of just my environment growing up, like quote unquote a pick me. But I was never like kind of in the space where I was shitting on other women. Cause like, if anything, I would have loved having more girls in the sport of martial arts and having more to like have in common with them, because it always kind of felt a little lonely being in there and just being the only girl, period.
Yeah,
so.
but see, even as you experience, like without your dad kind of, encouraging you to go in that direction, it would have been really easy for you to go in a different direction, right? If it was up to your mom, like what hobbies you did. I don't know. It's just interesting. Like a lot of girls get that training of like, no, you should do ballet or you should do dance or something, cutesy and fun like that. And also girls always see themselves represented like that in media, right? So the things that they make appeal to girls, it's like twirly and, purple and pink and glitter and sparkles. And so you associate yourself with that just because it's your peer group. Right? It's not like women are actually given, especially young girls, are given like a fair shake to choose like how they're represented. They're just not.
Yeah, so sometimes I wonder, how much more different my life would have been if I had done like gymnastics or cheerleading instead, and had that more of like female-centered childhood and had more ability to, make those female friendships. Because like I literally was not able to make a ton of girlfriends until probably like my mid-20s, or like maybe because I had tried making female friends like in the beginning of my 20s, like my first year of college. And I had this one girlfriend and she was like my best fucking friend at the time. And we had gone through like what's called fish camp together at the college, which brought us really close together because we had so much in common. And I just thought she was really cool. And I never thought that she would do me as dirty as she did me. And that set a precedent for how I thought of other women in my life moving. It just shattered my trust, essentially.
Yeah.
And so I had a hard time recovering after that setback.
That's happened to a lot of women too. That's why we say we don't have a woman code. Like men will do the most diabolical shit to each other and they'll just never talk about it. You know, it's fine. Bro code trumps all. And we're over here trying to hold each other to standards and all that. It's like, okay, I get it. I get that we're trying to be better than men, but at some point, like, what's the realistic solution? The reason that men still have the upper hand is because they support each other. They form an impenetrable wall and women cannot get through. And we as women do not have that. We let men through that wall all the time. That's why women are like, oh, well, why don't we just have women only communities and we live together? I'm like, it's because you would have to make every woman that enters that community sign a document that she will not bring a dusty, crusty, disgusting man into that community to suck the resources out.
Right.
And a lot of women would never be willing to do that.
Yeah, that's
it.
so true. That's so sad that that's what we would have to do, but that's exactly what we would have to do.
Yeah, you can't just have women-only communities. Yeah.
It would never be enough women to be like-minded, you know, in that way to create those communities. I just don't feel like it'll ever be enough to make a real difference.
And not to mention the women who have sons, aka
the boy mom.
The boy moms, different than from women who have sons. Okay. I did not mean to say aka. I meant women who have sons, some of whom also happen to be boy moms.
Yes.
Derogatory. Yeah. Derogatory.
It should be a slur. Yeah. Boy mom is a slur.
It is a slur. So again, just like Lisa said, there is a difference for everybody that's going to hear this and be offended. Don't be offended. Okay.
If you're offended, we are probably talking about you, though.
Probably.
All love. All love.
Mothers of sons hold their sons accountable, and boy moms typically don't. That's the difference.
That's
those
the fundamental
moms
difference.
that let their sons get away with everything, and my baby would never do that. My son is a good boy, right?
P. Diddy's mom, like you
P.
said.
Diddy mom literally was saying, my son is not a monster, even though we saw him beat and kick Cassie in the stomach. I mean, I'm just using that as one example because I'm sure there's thousands, right? But knowing all of that and all the other horrific things that he's done throughout his life, my son is not a monster. That's a boy mom.
Y'all ever seen those TikToks of like the moms who are like teaching their sons how to cook, and the captions will be like, teaching my sons how to cook so he's not impressed by his future wife's dusty lean cuisine or whatever. Or like hamburger helper. Yeah.
Or even worse, the moms that are like, how do I explain this feeling to girl moms? What?
Wait, what?
Yeah, they'll be like holding their like son and be like, how do I explain this feeling to girl moms? They'll just be like, yeah, being a boy mom, like I love my daughters, but my boy,
yeah, I know.
You mean the Oedipus
different.
complex?
Ew, yeah, you're gross. You're gross.
That's what you're trying to explain.
You're
It's an
so
Oedipus
gross.
complex.
I never understand why women even say that type of shit out loud. They have no idea how disgusting and embarrassing that is. If you are a mom that have done that, please stop. Because we're going to think you're a creep.
That's why one of my red flags was like having a healthy relationship with the mom. I actually meant the boy mom part, making sure like his mom is not one of those overbearing types that sees you as competition.
Yeah.
And then the son is just oblivious to it or like just willfully ignorant.
Yeah, a lot of women explain or mistake that for being a good relationship with his mom. That's not a good.
That is not a good relationship.
That's incestuous. That's emotional incest.
Yeah, if she's that type of mom that's going to make things difficult for you. Nobody is good enough for her son. And she's just going to like nitpick every little thing and make him choose between her. Those are boy moms. Like that. These women, in my opinion, are not usually mentally healthy. And the way that they come for their sons, first of all, if they only got sons, then... But if they have sons and daughters, you will notice the difference between the way that they treat their daughters and the expectations they have for their daughters versus the son. The son gets away with everything, and the girl is held to these high standards, and she needs to cook, and she needs to be at
Why didn't you cook for your brother
at a certain time, and you need the girls
and meanwhile
have
the
to
girl
do
is
everything.
14 and the brother is 17, for example. Yeah.
I feel like this is more common in Asian communities.
It's common.
It's
common everywhere. It's common everywhere because mothers, there's an excellent TikTok breakdown of this. And if I find it, I'll put it in the notes for this episode. But this girl broke it down. It's like a 10-minute long video. And she's like, it's because like they're really just craving male approval through their sons. And like they see their sons as their true potential, and they see their daughters as like the mistakes that they've made.
Yeah.
You know, they live vicariously through both, but in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And that blew my mind. Like, that was such a good explanation, because that really is how it plays out. Like, women, like, having sons, that's their chance to really succeed in the patriarchy, right? To succeed by proxy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're going to be a patriarch by proxy. That's what they
so
want to
true.
be. Whereas with girls, it's like, don't do what I did and don't make them the same mistakes that I did, and be better than me and be better than the men and be better than everybody. Whereas the boy is just like, no, you're already the best. You just go out there and show that to people.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's just a terrible man.
Literally.
It's just a man who like has never
Who
done
can't
his
even
own
Coddled,
laundry.
work a washing machine.
coddled too much.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Couldn't cook a potato.
They create the type of men that decent women don't want.
Exactly. Mhm.
Like, so basically, more than half of the men out here now in the world, it's just like the red pill, the incels complaining about when those, in my opinion, typically their moms were probably coddling them or,
Oh, definitely.
you know, letting them get away with things and not holding them accountable. Because, you know, when you see guys that have just overall respect for women and they're just nice people, I just always think his mother must be so proud, you know?
Yeah.
Or his father,
legit.
but usually the mom. Because, you know, it's hard to come across men like that, but they definitely exist. Because I always think about the kind of men that will say, well, she was dressed like a hoe, she acted like a hoe, so I treat her like a hoe. Versus the men who are like, I mean, she's a woman. Like, I don't have any reason to disrespect her because she's dressed in a certain way. I mean, that's her business. You know what I mean? Like, those
They still
guys
see us as human.
Yeah, they see you as human. Like, they don't. They're and to me, those type of men have set the bar for me a long time ago. I now know that there are men out there who don't think, oh, I treat her how she act, because you're a terrible person. But when I see men who see women as human, I automatically know some woman in his life helped him to come to that realization, or helped him to, like, they did their best and they did a good job. It's either a mom or a grandmother.
Probably didn't coddle him. Yeah, like
That's
my
what-
husband.
that's what I'm saying.
My husband was raised very matriarchally, so he's like, it's not even a problem. It's not even a question.
See?
Asian households, we beat the shit out of our sons. Like, we put the fear of God in them early. Yes, that's what these Chinese tiger moms do. Like, that's why they're so scared of their moms in those communities.
Oh my
it's because
goodness.
like that
Yeah, and
fear
there's
of God
still,
that happened
there's still
early.
misogyny, but yeah, it's
But
there's
they
a
do
lot.
respect their moms, and they do fear them.
It's one thing to respect your mom, but it's like, yes, it counts, but does it really count if it doesn't translate to how you treat women?
Other women. That's what
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah, I think a lot of moms that have raised good boys, it's not by beating them, it's by actually making their labor visible. Like, my husband's mom was not like, oh, I'm gonna cook and clean and everything. She had a job. She was a provider.
Yeah.
So that was up to the kids. Like, they had to do, and she didn't care if they were boys or girls. And that's what made the difference, you know? And I feel like as the more like resources they had and the more she was like kind of able to do, then like I feel like only half of her kids have that eldest daughter mindset, my husband included. And then I think she got more lax later on. But, you know, it is what it is. But I'm just saying, it comes from a mom who's not coddling the son,
That's
who's
so
not
true.
doing everything for him, folding his laundry for him. Like, my husband's mom never did that even once in her life. So he never expected that from me. So when it came time,
That's
and my
the
parents
best,
never
ain't
made
it?
me do chores. So we were just a perfect match made in heaven, because when we got together, it was like, I don't know how to do anything. Do you? No? Okay, well, we'll figure it out together. I don't think you should. And I think those are life skills that you should teach everybody.
Everybody.
But for girl moms, I'm going to just tell you right now, until the boy moms start teaching their sons how to cook, clean, and do all that, leave your girls alone. Let girls be
Listen,
girls. All right.
please.
Let them go outside and play with whatever they find on the ground, okay? Because y'all are teaching them to be just servants to ungrateful men. That's what you're doing. Stop teaching your girls, you know, how to clean, cook, be pleasant, do all that. Let them be whatever feral little witches they want to be. Because
Seriously.
the boy
Martial
moms are
arts.
out here folding their socks for them. No. No, my
I'm
parents
telling y'all.
folded my laundry for me until I was 18.
We
Proud
were
of
what is it? Is the term latchkey kid? Is that the right term?
That's yeah.
A child who is often left home alone or unsupervised after school when they're yeah, we were definitely the IT kids for sure. And we learned how to do stuff at such a young age. Like we learned how to clean up, we learned how to cook, we learned how to do laundry. Like, and my mom, she was a single mom for a lot of our childhood. There was times when she was married, or my dad was in the picture for a while. My dad was in the picture the whole time, but when they broke up, then he wasn't there, but we would always be at his house over the weekend, and he was within walking distance and stuff. So, but we literally did everything on our own, starting from a young age. And I don't know. I kind of think it turned out to be a good thing. I don't know if it's, I think
it's good. We just got to pick one,
yeah.
right? Either we teach everyone everything, or we teach nobody nothing. Yeah. And they figure it all out. Because women are carrying the entire load right now. I hate it. That's why I'm like, at this point, I believe women regardless. Like I'm trying to tip the scales, right? Because at this point, trying to do things in good faith has gotten us nowhere. And that's why pick me women are such a huge detriment. And we got to wrap up this discussion because of time, but it was an excellent, in my opinion, a very good discussion. Thank you, ladies, for contributing. I'm so glad we got to have Burb in on this one. And we had to finish up without her, but please make sure you do check her out on all of her channels, and make sure that you, if you're not following her everywhere, that you do, and make sure that you follow us everywhere that you can and all that. But we'll be right back, so stick around. All right, let's dig into our mailbag, starting with some poll results. So on January 20th, we posted a poll. In your opinion, what is the biggest green flag in a man? And this was obviously for our green flags episode. And the options were: he respects boundaries, B, emotional maturity, C, consistent actions matching words, and D, self-awareness and respect. So before I reveal the results, what would your answer be, Sovereign? What's the biggest green flag?
I would have said C.
Yeah. How about you, Gwen?
I like emotional maturity, because I feel like if you have emotional maturity, then the rest just falls into place.
Yeah, that's true.
It's hard for me not to be biased. I do like answer C, because that is the one that most of you chose. Consistent actions matching words. That's going to be probably, it's one of those facts don't care about your feelings kind of things, right? We, last time Sovereign and I were on live together, we were talking about like how you should just replace the word love with good partner and then see if it still makes sense, right? Yeah. Because you can never say he cheats on me because he's a good partner. Right? Yeah. You can't ever say he yells at me like that because he's a good partner. He hits me because he's a good partner. None of that would work, because love is just, it's one of those things that men manipulate you with, honestly, at the end of the day. So you have to look for the facts and consistent actions matching words. I like that. I think good job, ladies, for voting that one. That one had 40%. Emotional maturity was the second most popular with 30%. Then we had he respects boundaries with 17%, and self-awareness and respect coming in with 13%. And we just posted a poll today about what would go furthest in helping women achieve true liberation. So if you haven't voted on that, make sure you do, because we'll be reading the results of that poll next week.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, so don't forget to head on over to our Patreon.
Yes.
Head on over there. Run, don't walk.
Exactly.
No,
we are. It's a very, it's popping in there right now. It's a lively community. We're doing whatever we can to keep it that way. We're posting blogs. Like, I feel like I put more work into it at this point than I do my own socials. Like, I've kind of given up on those. All right, but let's dig into the mailbag. So question 1. We have 3 questions today that we're gonna try and just knock them out. We have, I'm asking for advice on how to process / get over medical trauma. Misogyny can be weird sometimes. You're aware of it as a woman, but sometimes it hits you right in the face. And you got to sit down for a second to process what happened because of the Audaci-Tea. I suffer from chronic pain and a bunch of other health problems. I ended up getting sick during the start of COVID-19 and ended up having an undiagnosed stomach bug that wreaked havoc on my stomach. I ended up with a lot of health anxiety on top of my usual anxiety and have had a hard time recovering. I've been referred to mental health support. How do you learn to trust a system that doesn't work in your best interest? Because I certainly don't. I have an IUD insertion tomorrow and I'm scared shitless. So ladies, I'm going to let you take that one because I have not dealt with IUD insertions.
I have. I'll take it from here. Girl, it's going to hurt and your soul will levitate off that table. You will astral project and then come back to your body.
Oh, no.
Advocate for yourself as much as possible, which I don't know if you've already gotten your IUD insertion by this point when you listen to this. But definitely whenever you get another one, if you do, or if you get it taken out, ask for general anesthesia. Or like sometimes they'll give you like a Xanax or a pain pill for that, especially tell them that you are like a kick risk. So like you might kick them in the face if you're not sedated. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the only time like they really give a shit is whenever the risk might be that they'll get a nose job because their patient kicked them in the face because we feel everything that happens in the cervix. Like, I don't understand why the medical community has not kept up with the fact that so many women have come forward after these IUD insertions and been like, I don't know where you got the idea that, you know, the cervix doesn't have nerve endings and we shouldn't be able to feel it, but we fucking feel that shit. And it's disgusting how men, whenever they go in for their like birth control, like a vasectomy, they get a little bit of like a Novocaine shot right there. So it numbs the area generally. And they get a little incision there, some gel put in there, and then sealed up and get like a lollipop on the way out. Because why not? And then you just need to be on bed rest for like the rest of the day or whatever it is. And you just have mild pain there. But for us, like you're decommissioned for like 2 or 3 days because like you just be feeling the ripple effect. I call it a ripple effect because after it gets inserted, and it's a T-shaped device that goes into your internal organs. You are stone cold sober the whole time. And you just feel cramping for 2 or 3 days out of the week. And for me, it was so like debilitating. Like that pain was just shooting down my legs. And even with the heating pad, and I had so much ibuprofen in my system, I was nauseous. I think I had taken like 15 milligrams at one point.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and just I was doing the best I could to manage that pain. It just sucked so hard. I do not recommend it. I recommend it for me because I have ADHD and I do not remember to take my birth control at a specific time every day. Like it's just, I don't know why I was never like responsible enough for that. So this was the second best option because I had heard too many horror stories about the shot. And this was before I found out that the shot causes cancer and like brain tumors. So definitely don't get the Depo shot in case y'all haven't read the reports on that. But so that was just an option for me that was available. And of course, like everybody else, I was medically gaslighted and told by my female OBGYN that this was only going to be a pinch. If you're in that situation, ask your OBGYN if she has ever had an IUD and what her experience was and see if she still lies to you and tells you like, oh, it was just a sting. Like, oh, it was just a quick in and out. And that might be the case for women who have already had kids and their cervix is like already a spaghetti noodle at that point. But for other women who have not had that experience before, like it is otherworldly, I will say. And also the pill that they give you for that to soften the cervix is called mifepristone. And that is now, I think, or it's going to be considered a controlled substance under certain red states' laws because it's also used in abortifacients. So in order to get an abortion, they give you that to soften the cervix again so they can go up there and do what they need to do to extract the tissue. It's the same process for an IUD. They go in the same route. They just put a device in there. They don't take anything out.
Also, too, I've never had one and I would never get one because they seem painful. But a lot of women that I've talked to, they would complain that they, for whatever reason, would shift. And so getting it taken out is also just as painful, if not more. That's what I've heard from more women. So the way I would answer her question, the best way to navigate this and anything that you do is to educate yourself as much as possible. Read on it, YouTube University, because there's always going to be women telling you their IUD stories or wherever. I mean, there's always like support groups for this stuff, but educate yourself on these things as much as possible and be your own advocate. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to say no to certain things. Don't be afraid to speak up.
And remember, nobody's coming at the end end of the day. Like this is your own body. If you don't speak up for you, you can't blame the doctors, you know, when you're expiring of, you know, stage 4 something because you don't trust them. Like you have to go and you have to advocate for yourself.
You do.
And you can blame the doctors. I'm just saying, like, you first at least have to try. And I've heard that asking doctors to get their refusal in writing works usually like 50% of the time. Like if you say, oh, I want a hysterectomy or something like that, I want my tubes tied, and the doctor says no, ask to have that refusal in writing. Ask to have any other kind of refusal in writing. They refuse to give you pain medication for IUD insertion, tell them to put that on your chart in writing so you can go to another doctor, because that's how it is. And oftentimes they don't want to do that, so they'll just give you what you want.
And don't think that, you know, you can't refuse service, because you can. You can refuse treatment. That is absolutely legal.
Oh,
Even if you are
absolutely.
on the table, prepped and ready to go, if you were to suddenly change your mind at the last hour, you can definitely do that. Like, do not be afraid to just stand up off the table and walk away if that is not something you are feeling 100% comfortable in or safe in, and you are allowed to advocate for yourself that way. 100%.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I've definitely done that before too, because when I had to get my first IUD taken out, I was afraid of the pain because like once bitten, twice shy on that, right? And so I had gotten like a pain pill popped, and I tried to let that kick in, and they had given me like a whole hour and I still wasn't feeling it. But like I was on the table prepped and ready to go to get it taken out, but I just walked away, and I just said, I can't do this because I still feel sober. Yeah, it hasn't like hit yet. So like I feel like I just be on the floor, pass out when it's kicked in, and then we can do it. But, but yeah, so they did wait that extra time for it to hit. So
Yep. You just gotta act confident. Channel your inner like dragon or something. All right. We have an update, y'all. This is actually a really great update. This is from that listener who asked if she should break up with her longtime on again, off again, porn addicted, video game loving boyfriend. So the update is he cheated and I broke up with him. And he still wanted to see if I could forgive him and be friends. She says, thank you. The audacity. That's literally why we called our podcast that. Like, you can't make this shit up. She says, thank you so much. Your podcast and women empowerment content has really helped put me in a place where I will never settle for that again. The sign I got from the universe was the biggest reality check ever, but I think they knew the strength I already had. So it just had to be this way for me to finally leave. I kicked him out immediately the day after, and I'm ready to enter my single decenter men era. All love.
Yes, I love it.
Woo! Amen,
The
queen.
studio audience cheers.
Our work we're doing, aka
We're
God's
so proud
work,
of you.
as they call it.
Yes, we're so proud of you.
Yes,
we love
are.
you. Godspeed. This is going to be great for you. And
I love
seriously,
this.
yeah, it's a canon event. You know, the man has to really break every part. You know, like it really is just one of those things where like it has to be that last straw so that you can look back on it and be like, oh my God, what the fuck was all of that? You see it cumulatively. And you're going to be so motivated to just never let that happen again.
And really quickly, all the time you were wasting dealing with him and tending to him, now you can use that time to focus on what you want.
Exactly.
Whatever classes you may have wanted to take, or some fun like arts and craft, whatever it is. Now you can use that time to focus on you. And when you do that, like your whole world just opens up when you're not, somewhere worrying about what he wants and how he feels. And oh my God, is he cheating? And you are about to be, I'm so happy for you. That's all I can say.
Feel.
I'm so
Spread
happy.
your wings.
Weight was lifted.
Yes. Okay. And our third question is, I'm a 22, almost 23-year-old career woman who has stopped dating altogether for about a year after an extremely toxic, emotionally abusive situationship from 2021. This helped me come to the realization that most men my age are emotionally and financially unstable. I focused on graduating and getting a stable job. I achieved this, but sometimes it feels like maybe the last piece to the puzzle is getting into a relationship. I have a lot of family and friends that ask me when I'm going to get a boyfriend, and I don't have an answer. I also have a very low tolerance for nonsense, so most of the guys I've dated haven't made it past a few weeks/months after me noticing certain behaviors. This is correct, by the way. This is how it should be. My question is, what do young women that want to still have sex with men but understand who they really are do? I still have needs that in the past were unmet because I didn't think sex was really women-centered. I always just viewed it as something I was doing to please my partner, but I never really had orgasms from any partners. I do find sex pleasurable, though. Is it possible to just have casual sex while also decentering men? And how would you recommend I do that? I don't have a lot of experience with this, but I do just want to say that it is never going to be the last piece to the puzzle to get into a relationship. Never, ever, ever. If you view that as the last piece to a puzzle, you still haven't decentered men and you haven't like decentered that idea away from your life. Women do not need men like that. He's never going to be your last puzzle piece, trust me, especially if he's bringing as little to the table as most of these men. They're not even bringing you an orgasm, babe.
Exactly. And that's why I don't really advocate for like casual hookups, even if it was like that's still centering men 100%.
And it's dangerous as hell.
Yeah, and you carry all the risk. Like you're carrying like the risk for an STD and for pregnancy and God knows what, and putting you in situations you wouldn't otherwise fucking be in unless you like if you were just, doing what you wanted to actually be doing. And you wouldn't realize that until you're in the moment and you just feel that inevitable disappointment in a casual hookup because they don't know you, they don't know your body, and you just be teaching a new one every step of the way. And it's just like
and they
putting
don't
in
care.
all that effort and energy for what? Yeah, and they don't care.
Don't even care.
So while I agree with everything y'all just said, I have a slightly different take.
Please. I love it because I really just don't have the experience. So I'm just...
Oh, okay, I do. The first thing, any woman that has a question, the first thing you have to do is know yourself. You need to know how you react. Are you one of those women who catch feelings easily after you have sex with guys? Because a lot of women feel that way. They're like, oh, I can't have sex with a man and not catch feelings. If you know you're that woman, I don't recommend you do the casual sex thing at all. However, I know that if sex is a need for you, then it's unrealistic to tell you not to have sex. So a lot of women are going to do it. If you're going to, make sure you have all your ducks in a row. Make sure you are safe. It's a red flag if a man doesn't want to use condoms and you do. If he's hesitating and all of that is a red flag. I would recommend making sure whoever you pick, y'all go get tested. Still use condoms. I'm just saying, because, you never know what he's doing when he's not there. But the key thing is you just have to follow your gut instinct. Like if you feel uneasy around a guy, if you can't sleep around him, if something is just itching at you, like, that's probably not somebody that you want to get involved with, let alone sleep with. So you have to follow your instincts on this. But you have to know yourself. You have to know if you are going to turn into a crazy person if you have sex with a guy and he doesn't call you for 3 days and all of that. You got to take time by yourself to get to know yourself. That's the key. And I'm just being realistic because I know that people are not just going to go to rest. There's a lot of people that will, but a lot of people are not going to go the rest of their life and not have sex.
Yeah, like you're a straight woman. Like I understand. I don't think like sex is a physiological need for anybody, but I think it could be, a belonging need. It could be, again, it sucks that straight women can't just have some fun. Like it's just set up to be so dangerous for us. And
I agree.
If we didn't carry all the risk, like I would be all the way for it. If there was like an equal amount of like centeredness on women's pleasure, then definitely we should be out there getting ours.
But that's the drawback that I have, because somebody left a comment on my channel earlier because they were commenting on the video I did when I brought up my boyfriend, and they were like, so you're okay with letting a man use your body just as long as
just sounds like something they're doing to you and not with you.
Just as long as he's not willing to get you pregnant, because I told them he was child free. And I forgot to respond because I was actually going to do a video response to that, but I forgot. And so I guess it wasn't important. However, it's coming up now. When people phrase it that way, the reality is there's a lot of women who don't derive sexual pleasure from men because men don't know where the clit is, or they don't know how to do it. Well, whatever, right? I get that.
They're projecting that onto you.
But some of us have had great experiences.
Right.
And so
don't project that.
And I'm speaking for myself.
Don't speak that evil over me.
Yeah. So, and I'll be the first to say, sex is important to me. And I've had mostly great experiences. So I would never cut myself off completely from that because, but yes, Gwen is right. Lisa's right. There are a lot of risks. Women carry most of the risk. That's why you have to know yourself. You have to trust your instincts, and you have to be smart and be safe.
And it's almost like you have to vet these men almost as much as you would for a relationship. So like it's not any less work for you. Yeah. It's a lot of work. You have to understand if you're going to commit to this, you have to do all of this. You have to like check their background and like make sure they're not wanted for, because men will get on dating apps with murder charges on their dog.
Yeah,
they'll be like,
safety checks on these
by the
apps.
way, if you look me up, if you do a background check on me, you're going to find a murder charge. Ha ha. And then the woman that was making a TikTok about this said, and I'm not even joking, she said, I looked him up and he had a murder charge. Like it was not a joke. He was telling the truth, disguising it as a joke.
And that's if they tell you.
They're not even going to tell you. Most of them won't tell you.
I'm surprised that guy even did. It was probably his like first day out of jail or something.
And to add to Sovereign's strategy about, vetting and checking for STDs and all that, have an emergency fund for yourself too. Because God forbid,
Absolutely.
and I do mean God forbid, you have a one-night stand and let's say it was great. Boop, boop, now you're pregnant and, hopefully you're not SOL. So this little fund, emergency fund, and I want to say about, well, depending where you live, but minimum should be about like $500 to get that emergency surgery action happening. So,
and not to mention, I had a friend who did go do that. She ended up septic in the hospital several days later. So have funds for that. I'm just saying, it's not like a fun, cute little, little thing that you're going to be doing. It's you have to arm yourself. You know what I mean? You're going out there, pretend like you're in The Walking Dead. Okay, that's the level of preparedness you have to have. Like,
it's so true though.
Seriously, have a weapon.
It's a war zone out there.
Whatever you gotta have in your car. Make sure your friends have your location. All of that good stuff. Because men will pretend, they will lie, they'll give you a fake name, they'll give you. My husband was just talking to his sister who had she tried to get back out there to date, had extremely god-awful experiences with men, 3 in a row, that were all just terrible. I'm not even going to give out any details, but suffice it to say, like, this happens to women every day in real life when they're just trying to have a little bit of fun with the man they're trying to date casually, whatever. It's horrifying. And I think it's gotten worse, honestly.
It has gotten worse, and it will keep getting worse, in my opinion. However, I just know that women are still going to want to have sex.
Absolutely.
And so I agree with everything you're saying is facts, 100%. But for those women who are still like, yeah, but I still want to do it. You can't. I don't want this to be like irresponsible, like advice. You can decenter men and still have sex with them. And I'm only saying that because I've done that pretty much my entire life. So it can be done. It just depends on how smart you have to be smart about it, and you have to.
Yes. I was gonna say, if you weren't raised like this, it's gonna be harder for you to do this, right? If you were not raised with that mindset of men are not shit and like they're not really bringing anything or contributing to your life, you're gonna start to see lies where there's truth, right? They're gonna be trying to tell you the truth, and you're gonna hear lies. You're gonna hear something that makes you feel good. I can't help you there, right? It's like I can tell you if I could put my mindset into the minds, or Sovereign's mindset into the minds of all the women that are going to go out there and try to have casual sex, then I would feel a lot safer about it. But some of y'all have been so, raised so male gazy that it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for you to focus on your own pleasure. It's going to be hard for you to say no to a man who's not going to be concerned about your safety or pleasure, because it's going to be more about that male validation. And that's what I'm afraid of. So you have to eradicate that first. And that's why I say, if you view that as that last missing piece, a relationship with a man,
you can't look at it that way.
You may have not gotten there quite yet. You may want to hold off and really center yourself. Maybe get some toys first. Figure out what you like. Have you ever given yourself an O, right? Let alone the men that you're dealing with. Do you even know what it would take? Do you even know how to get somebody there? Right. Ask yourself those questions and have some fun with yourself. Also, if you really want to know how to like decenter men while still having fun with them, we were just talking about this. Watch Sex and the City and focus only on Samantha.
Please.
Do not worry about the other 3 women. They are all pick-me's. They all ended up in bad situations.
Just clueless.
But don't be like Samantha. Don't necessarily everything that Samantha was doing.
She was in a powerful position herself.
Yeah.
She had fuck you money, right? So she could go move on with her life no matter what. If you don't have fuck you money, don't be reckless.
Yeah, so just for clarity, we're saying focus on Samantha because she was the most empowered and the most liberated, not because she was sleeping around with a lot of guys, but because she had fuck you money. She was very confident. She didn't care what anybody thought. She would stick her middle finger up at you or anybody at any moment. She spoke her mind. She advocated for herself. She was a strong woman. That is why she was really a fan favorite for a lot of people, and why to us on the podcast, she was the most powerful and liberated favorite, right? So we're not saying go be like Samantha and sleep with this guy and that guy, whatever. A lot of women can't handle that. That's what I'm saying. You have to, that's why I said in the very beginning, you have to know yourself, and you have to know what you can and can't handle.
And make sure you're getting something out of it.
Make sure you're getting
don't
something
just be
out
in it
of
for sex.
Yeah.
But she was fucking powerful people too. Like people who could elevate her career or people that could like grant her favors down the road.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't just, sleeping with randos. She was actually, she was kind of like more or less networking during these times. So
yeah.
Yes.
Take a page out of that, too.
Exactly. She was playing chess, not checkers, ladies. Okay. Think about that. She was always playing chess.
Yeah, if you're gonna deal with a man, make sure he can do something for you, like something.
And I'm just gonna tell you that if you vet men this way, you're gonna have that same experience as you're having dating them. I promise you. Most men do not want to treat you well in bed. So you're going to have the same exact problem trying to find men to sleep with. It is what it is. And some of it is just going to be bad experiences at the end of the day too. They're going to pretend like they know what they're doing. They're going to pretend like they care about your pleasure. And then they're going to do something effed up. So
just be very careful and be smart. And if you're still in the process of thinking, like Lisa said, that that the man is a missing piece or whatever, then you still have a lot of self-discovery to go. You know what I mean? You still have a lot of work to do in that area, and you should hold off until you are clear about who you are and what you want. That's so important. You have to know yourself. That's all I got to say about that.
Thank you. Thank you, Sovereign. Thank you, Gwen. Thank you for everyone that's writing into the mailbag. We have a lot more than we can keep up with at this point, especially if we're going to do other segments, but we're going to do our best to keep up. Please keep writing. Eventually, we'll probably just do mailbag only episodes.
Oh, yeah. We should do that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think that would just be fun.
Keep an eye out, too, for our brother podcast, the podcast by men for men.
Oh.
The Toxicity.
Oh.
Is that what we're calling
Wait,
it?
I'm like, wait, hold on, wait, huh? Wait, what? I literally thought of Ryan. I'm like, wait, Ryan got something cooking up over there?
No, not Ryan. Glocktavius.
The red
Glocktavius and Ron Dietrich. That's who's cooking in that kitchen.
So we have myself, Glocktavius, Lisa, Billy,
Little
Billy Ray. BurbNBougie is Tyrone. Belladonna, some of you may not know who she is, but Belladonna is like pretty popular on TikTok. She's my moderator. She's Lisa's moderator. She moderates a lot of us in this space.
She does a lot for the women's community.
She does. She does. Belladonna is great. She is Ron Dietrich. And then we have Public, and I'm pretty sure he'll come back. He'll come back again sometimes. Oh, yeah. He's not. I don't think he's going to be a staple on there, but every chance
he
we
was
can
the
get
man
him
trying to
in.
educate us.
Yeah, he was.
He was doing. He was being so patient.
If y'all follow Public Offender, then y'all know the types of characters that he have on his show on a daily basis. So we became those characters. For those of you who haven't watched,
it's up on my YouTube,
and it's on mine too. You will see on the thumbnail. I think we have the same thumbnail, don't we? Yeah. So the thumbnail is her with the goatee and mustache, and me with the goatee and mustache. So y'all click on that and watch it. It's about almost an hour, like 45
40 minutes.
or something. Yeah. And we turned red pill, and we had BurbNBougie and Belladonna, and then Public Offender was on there in with the shenanigans, as they were saying in the comments, and people loved it. They were like, y'all have got to make this a series. If y'all go through the comment sections on my channel and on Lisa's, you will see almost every comment.
It was very well received.
So yeah, we're definitely going to do a part 2 pretty soon, very soon. We don't know exactly what day.
The time has to be right, you know. These boys only come out when they feel like it because they're alpha males. Because they don't let women tell them what to do.
Exactly.
Amazing. So yeah, maybe we'll get Gwen on there too eventually.
No, Gwen.
You gotta have to think of a name for me
and a persona. Like,
yeah, you gotta.
It's a whole thing.
Do you have a passport bro on there yet?
No, we don't. Actually, no. Sorry, Glocktavius is a passport bro, right? Because you were saying you gotta go. That's why you're going overseas to find the real women.
I did say that, but Gwen has been.
There's enough space.
So Gwen might play a good passport bro. I don't know. You might know some things about different places.
Yeah. I actually have not traveled much, despite the fact that I speak 3 or 4 languages.
Oh man,
I haven't been able to get out of the country.
You just got to
lately.
do some like character research. just listen to some
You're
of
right.
these
Yeah, just go on
horrifying
the best place, honestly,
podcasts.
YouTube, or go on
Yeah.
TikTok and just type in
modern
passport-
women.
Yeah, something to do with modern women or passport bros or
Women don't deserve chivalry.
yeah. When I come across some stuff, I'll send it to you too, so you can
Yeah.
like.
Or it could be the
Yeah.
Pick Me Woman, the one rare.
We did
killer.
say we were thinking about doing the pick me version
okay,
of it. Oh
okay.
God, okay,
Barbara the
that's
Builder. You can be Barbara. You can be
Yes.
Pick Me Pearl.
Yes. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're getting ideas. We're gonna get creative with it.
That's so funny. I can't wait.
So yeah, keep an eye out. You know, y'all might see us on a live. Y'all might see the recap on a YouTube. Just keep an eye out. Support the.
Wait, so are we calling it the Dusty Pod? Is that the name?
Oh yeah, the Dusty Pod. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. The Dusty, not the
Okay.
Toxicity. That
Same
was
things.
my idea for a Shira 7 type podcast where we all go on and we talk shit about modern men and about how they're not providers and about how they're not,
Oh yeah, we could do that too. Oh yeah, we can.
I was gonna say we should do like the bold makeup filter.
Oh, I know. Crazy hair.
I really want Shira on the pod too. I want to reach out to her and see maybe what she has to say, and maybe if she can like come on there and just goof around with us too. It'd be really funny.
that
It'd be
would be
so fun. I
It
really
would
would love
be.
that. Shira 7, if you're listening, hit us up.
Please,
We love
if you follow Shira, I would send her this episode or something.
Yeah. There you go. All right. So I think our recommendation for today, I'm going to give the book that Burb recommended, if that's cool with y'all.
Oh, yeah,
Unless somebody
definitely.
had
Yeah.
So the recommendation is Women's Inhumanity to Woman. And the other one is called Women and Madness. So some works by Phyllis Chesler. Please check her out. The link will be in our episode description. And thank you all for joining us today. We'll be back next week to talk about signs of porn addiction in men. At the very least, we might have another subject as well that we're looking at. And we're having the public offender on our show for real, actually, on February 24th. That's when that episode is gonna drop. So keep an eye out, and we'll
Can't
talk
wait.
to you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Sprinkle, sprinkle. Bye.